Have you ever had one of those days where everything just feels off? Everything hurts and you can't even explain what you're feeling? Like when you have the flu, your body aches, your energy is rock bottom, and no amount of rest seems to help? Now imagine feeling like this every single day. That's the reality for millions of people living with fibromyalgia, a chronic pain condition that remains a puzzle. But despite the intense impact it can have on lives, there's still a cloud of disbelief that surrounds it. Let's clear the air. Fibromyalgia isn't a figment of imagination. It's as real as any other medical condition. Hi, I'm Daniela, and you're watching Through the Looking Glass, where we foster resilience and inspire lives. When I first got diagnosed with fibromyalgia, I had no idea what it meant. I had not even heard of it. It took me many years to understand what it meant to live with fibromyalgia, how to manage it, and how to make peace with it. Today, I'm sharing with you 10 things I wish I knew when I first got diagnosed with fibromyalgia. Understanding fibromyalgia, more than just pain. First, let's understand what fibromyalgia is. Fibromyalgia is a chronic pain condition that affects millions of people worldwide. It's more common in women than in men and typically develops between the ages of 20 and 50 years old. Fibromyalgia is characterized by widespread musculoskeletal pain, fatigue, and cognitive impairment, often referred to as fibrofog. Initially, in 1990, the American College of Rheumatology required the presence of pain on both sides of the body, above and below the waist, and at least 11 out of 18 tender points, along with pain persisting for at least 3 months, not attributed to another disorder. But in 2010, they changed this requirement. The medical community no longer considers them a mandatory criteria, broadening the understanding and approach to diagnosing this complex condition. The new approach for diagnosis now focuses on a broader evaluation of pain and symptoms. The exact cause of fibromyalgia is unknown, but researchers believe it may be linked to a combination of genetic, environmental, and psychological factors. Some studies suggest that fibromyalgia may be triggered by a physical or emotional trauma, such as surgery, infection, or a stressful life event. The first thing I want you to know, if you've been just diagnosed with fibromyalgia, is that fibromyalgia is real. Let's get one thing straight. Fibromyalgia isn't made up. It's a real, complex, challenging condition. It's not all in your head or some excuse. It's a medical condition that can turn your life upside down. So if someone ever tells you it's not real, know that they're mistaken. It's easy for people to dismiss what they can't see. Unlike a broken arm and a cast or a fever that shows in a thermometer, fibromyalgia symptoms aren't always visible. But just because you can't see it, it doesn't mean it's not there. Invisibility doesn't equal non-existence. For many living with fibromyalgia, the biggest battle is proving that their pain is real. This misunderstanding can lead to a lack of empathy and support, making the condition even harder to bear. Recognizing and acknowledging fibromyalgia as a real health issue is a critical step in supporting those affected. There is no single test for fibromyalgia. Finding out you have fibromyalgia isn't straightforward. There is no simple blood test or scans that confirm you have fibromyalgia. It's more like putting together pieces of a puzzle. Your symptoms, your medical history, a physical exam. Your doctor may order scans and blood work, but because fibromyalgia is a disease of exclusion, those tests are not to diagnose it, but rather to rule out other conditions. Fibromyalgia can be misdiagnosed. Fibromyalgia can be difficult to diagnose, and some doctors may not be familiar with the condition or may mistake it for another condition with similar symptoms. It is important to find a doctor who's knowledgeable about fibromyalgia and can provide an accurate diagnosis and proper treatment. Often, you will be referred to a rheumatologist, but it's important to be aware that not all rheumatologists may have experience with fibromyalgia. Some might rely heavily on traditional tests like x-rays and blood work, which typically don't show abnormalities in people with fibromyalgia. This can lead to frustration and dismissal of your symptoms. The diagnosis of fibromyalgia is a challenging journey, mainly due to its similarities in symptoms to other conditions and the lack of physical evidence. Those similarities can lead to misdiagnosis, especially if the healthcare provider is not experienced with fibromyalgia. On the other hand, it is also possible that other conditions be labeled as fibromyalgia. Some conditions like ankylosing spondylitis may not show in blood work or diagnostic imaging in the early stages of the condition. Lyme disease is also another example of a disease that may be labeled as fibromyalgia if not properly investigated. Treatment is available, but it may take time. Okay, so there's no magic pill for fibromyalgia. There is no cure for fibromyalgia, but there are treatments and strategies that can help. Everyone's experience is different, and what works for one person may not work for another. It may take some trial and error to find the right combination of treatments that work best for you. Common treatments include medications for pain and symptoms, physical therapy, exercise programs, lifestyle adjustments like stress management and good sleep hygiene. Also, keep in mind that what works now might need adjustment over time as fibromyalgia symptoms and personal circumstances change. Fibromyalgia is not typically considered a progressive disease, but many people report an increase in symptoms as they age. This can be due to many factors, including the natural aging process, which often brings its own aches and pains. Additionally, the challenges in managing an active lifestyle with fibromyalgia can lead to weight gain and a more sedentary life, both of which can make pain worse. The key is to maintain open communication with your healthcare providers and to be open to adjusting treatment strategies as needed. Don't be afraid to explore alternative medicine. The answer isn't always in the traditional way. The goal is to manage symptoms effectively and maintain the best possible quality of life. It's okay to feel overwhelmed and uncertain. Being told you have fibromyalgia can hit you hard. You might feel lost, scared, or just plain overwhelmed. And guess what? That's totally normal. It's a lot to take in. Give yourself some grace to process all these feelings. When you're diagnosed with fibromyalgia, it's not just a medical label, it's an emotional whirlwind. The uncertainty about the future, the adjustments in daily life, and the constant management of symptoms can be daunting. This wave of emotions is completely normal and part of adapting to a new normal. It's crucial to allow yourself the space and time to navigate these feelings. Don't rush through them or brush them aside. Embracing your emotions is a healthy way to process this change in your life. Fibromyalgia can impact your mental health. It's super important to keep an eye on your mental health and talk to someone if things get too heavy. Seeking support during these challenging times is not only helpful but necessary. A significant percentage of people with fibromyalgia also experience depression and anxiety. It's unclear whether these mental health conditions are direct symptoms of fibromyalgia or if they develop as a response to the ongoing challenges and pain associated with the condition. Whatever the cause, acknowledging and addressing your emotional well-being is crucial in managing fibromyalgia. This involves not only dealing with the physical symptoms, but also taking proactive steps to maintain mental health. Self-care plays an important role in managing fibromyalgia. It's not just a modern trend, it's a fundamental strategy for coping with the condition. This involves ensuring adequate rest, and engaging in activities that bring happiness and fulfillment can significantly boost your emotional well-being. This could mean pursuing hobbies, spending time in nature, or simply doing things that relax you. It's also crucial to find a work-life balance and not be part of the hustle culture that modern life has become. Prioritizing self-care is not an act of indulgence, but a necessary step for managing both physical and mental health aspects of fibromyalgia. By taking care of yourself, you create a stronger foundation to handle the daily challenges imposed by the condition. For me, self-care is taking the morning slow, traveling to sunny destinations in the winter, spending time in nature, and literally not doing anything when my body says enough. I have learned to respect my body's limits the hard way. If you won't take a break, it will break. You are more than a diagnosis. While fibromyalgia may be a part of your life, it does not define who you are as a person. You are still you with your dreams and things to offer the world. And sometimes going through challenges like this can lead you to discover new passions or ways to help others. There's no doubt that living with fibromyalgia is hard and challenging. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. You can watch some of my vlogs and you see that I tell it as it is. But it can also be an opportunity for growth, to find new meaning and purpose in your life. It can give life a whole new perspective and make us appreciate what matters. It has definitely made me live in the moment and not always planning for the future. Speak up for yourself. When it comes to fibromyalgia, your voice is powerful. Don't be shy to talk about what you're going through. Ask questions and advocate for your health. You know your body best, so speak up. It means being honest with your doctors about your symptoms and the impact that they have in your daily life. If they dismiss you or don't believe you, you need to find a new doctor. But it's not just about talking to doctors. It's about being open with friends, family, and co-workers. Help them understand what fibromyalgia means for you. Maybe it's explaining why you can't join out for drinks or why you need to take frequent breaks at work. It's about setting boundaries that protect your health and well-being. Many people with chronic conditions fear being labeled as complainers, which can lead to keeping their struggles a secret. This is often due to worries about judgment or not wanting to be a burden. I did that for many years, and guess what I've learned? It is not your job to protect other people from life. You did not choose to have fibromyalgia, and it can happen to anyone. The more you talk about it, the more people will understand. Expressing your needs is a key part of managing this condition and maintaining relationships. It's about stating facts as they are and seeking understanding and support. Every time you voice your needs and experiences, you're not just advocating for yourself, you're also educating those around you. Your voice is powerful, used to shape the understanding and care you receive. And last, you are not in this alone. Living with fibromyalgia can be so isolating, but it's important to remember that there's so many people going through the same as you. There's a whole community out there, both online and offline, filled with people who understand exactly what you're going through. These communities provide not just emotional support, but also practical advice and tips that can help manage day-to-day life. This channel is a community. Read the comments that others leave and reply to their comments. Remember, reaching out and connecting with others who understand can make a significant difference in coping with this condition. Stay connected, not just online, but in the real world too. Remember, every person you meet might be fighting their own battles with pain. Your experiences could light the way for someone else in the shadows. If you're new to the fibromyalgia family, I hope this video brings you light and comfort. Hit that like button to support the cause and subscribe for more tips on thriving despite chronic illnesses. Keep laughing, keep learning, and keep living your best life, even if it means taking a few more naps than the average person. After all, in the world of fibromyalgia, naps are a competitive sport. That's a wrap for today. I will catch you in the next one.